How do you plant a church among tribal people? How do you share God's Word? How do you reach the unreachable? They live in remote locations, sometimes cut off completely from the civilized world. They speak languages no one else knows. Languages that have never been written down. We're not just talking about people without Bibles. We're talking about people without a single written word in their own language. Such is the case for the Panare people of the Colorado Valley, located deep in the jungle of Venezuela.
In 1972, we came out here and did a survey. There was no road into the valley. The nearest asphalt was about 87 kilometers from this location, so it was just Jeep tracks through the sand. To come 125 miles took us 2 days.
We came not knowing any of their language, and they didn't speak any Spanish or English. And so we wrote down everything that we heard. They can't pile up adjectives like John's big house. You would say that's a house, that's John's house, that house is big. There's no other way to say that in their language, so it becomes about 3 times as long as it would take us to say the same sentence.
By far, the biggest barrier is the one that is not so obvious at first glance. Besides the location and language barriers, the way the Panares think, their behavior patterns, social structure, and beliefs are not like ours. This becomes a huge obstacle to overcome when sharing the gospel. How do you tell people that God sent His only Son to die for their sins when they think God is the guy that lives up the river, or if they think someone else created God?
Well, these people believed in a God. His name was Madeokat, but their concept of Madeokat was different than what the Bible tells us about God. The fact that their God was so different that, you know, they could do things behind his back was a problem as far as presenting the gospel is concerned, because they didn't realize they were sinners.
How do you share God's Word and plant churches among these people? The solution is to go and live among the tribe. You would need to learn their language, understand how they think, and develop personal relationships so that you could earn their trust and make a true disciple.
The Panare people talk very little, or especially before they were believers, talked very little about feelings, about emotions, about believing, disbelieving, just many things. They would talk about that which you can see. And so it came very, very slow, but just extreme excitement when we would really get a hold of some terminology and see it work and see it really makes sense.
Is it worthwhile to overcome these barriers? Is it worth investing your prayers, your finances, your life in the difficult process of planting a church among the unreached, the thousands of tribal people around the world, tribes such as the Panares?
A lot of people ask, you know, has it been worth it? I don't even know if I can do this. Has it been worth it to be here? It's been really difficult. There's been just so many difficult things. There were many times like we felt like even the outreach just was totally out of our hands. The Panares just got so excited about the gospel that they just had to go tell everybody. And we just thinking, we don't have any control here at all. We don't even know what they're teaching, but it was just going like fire. And as I think about 31 years of work and presenting the New Testament tomorrow. I try to explain to the Panares that when I cry, it's not because I'm sad, because it's just an overwhelming privilege to have seen God work. The results, the culmination of so many years of work and sacrifice. It's been hard to be away from family, from our children. But has it been worth it? I would do it again in a snap. If I had another life to give, I wish I was young enough to start another work. It's I'd think of being up in heaven and with our Panare brothers and sisters, and there's just nothing like it.